a lot of Nigerians do not know what we're talking economically and so on, something in energy and
yes, sir.
International Monetary Fund and all of these global diktats upon this nation. They don't know. I mean, if you go back to the Kissinger report, 1974, Kissinger report, it was secret then because he was Secretary of State of America, but now it has to be public because of the law over there after 50 years or something like that. 1974 Kissinger report, it says explicitly there that the Nigerian people must not be given access to their resources, that they must be kept for the rich nations. And then you have the structural adjustment program of the 1980s here that privatized our companies and sold off our companies to foreign interests, deindustrialized our nation, and that was supposed to make our economy more efficient. Well, it's led us to where we are today.
It is.
And so the thing is that most Nigerians don't know this. They don't know these economic policies, the simplicity of these things that will enable our country to be rebuilt and to become strong. Back in the 1970s, almost everything we consume was made in Nigeria, and that's been systematically destroyed by foreign powers so that they can have access to our resources and we won't be using them on ourselves. That's why Nigeria has come. The International Monetary Fund is personally responsible for the economic condition of this country today, and it could be turned around in a couple of years.
The fastest way to break someone down is by constantly correcting them, even over the smallest things. You might think you're just being helpful, but correction is often criticism in disguise. And over time, it chips away at a person's confidence. Have you ever seen someone who was bright and curious as a child, but grew up to be quiet, unmotivated, and anxious? It's not because they were born lazy, it's because they were overcorrected. Psychology has an explanation for this. The human brain has a self-protection mechanism that helps us grow and adapt, but constant correction shuts that mechanism down. For example, maybe you're tired and lying on the couch scrolling your phone, and someone says, "That's bad for your eyes." Or you're doing your homework and they say, "Sit up straight. Why are you sitting like that?" You clean the room and still hear, "You can't even do this simple thing, right?" These may seem like small comments, but over time they add up. Eventually your brain starts whispering, "I can't do anything right." So you stop trying. You start procrastinating. You avoid making decisions. On the surface, you might look lazy, but in reality, you're just exhausted from constantly being judged. And this doesn't only happen in childhood. It can show up in adult relationships too. When your partner constantly corrects you, it's not care. It's control disguised as concern. Over time, you stop trusting yourself. You second-guess everything. You can't make decisions. You feel anxious, heartbroken, and helpless. But here's the truth. The problem isn't you. It's the other person's need for control. They're afraid of losing it, so they micromanage everything you do. That's not love, it's manipulation. Real love gives you space. It encourages you, helps you grow, and allows you to make mistakes. Because true growth comes from self-correction, not from someone watching your every move. So if you're stuck in this kind of cycle, it's time to wake up and set boundaries. Speak up, and if necessary, walk away. You deserve respect. You deserve space to grow. Only then can you become truly strong, brave, and happy.
Yesterday, I decided to stop trying to see my child because I believe that's what the mother wants. You know what hurts the most? It's not just being pushed away by someone I loved. It's that my child might grow up thinking I didn't care, that I just disappeared, that I didn't love them enough to stay. But the truth is, I wanted to stay. I wanted to be there for birthdays, for bedtime stories, for all kinds of funny plays. I wanted to be the one they looked for in the crowd and smiled when they saw me. But every time I tried to show up, there was a wall. Arguments, accusations, silence, phone calls ignored, visits cancelled at the last minute, stories twisted so badly I stopped trying to defend myself. And after a while, I had to protect my own sanity, because you can't keep walking into a room where you are only seen as a problem. You can't parent properly when everything you do is made to look like an attack. So I stepped back, not because I didn't care, but because I was breaking inside. I still pray for them. I still check from a distance when I can. I still carry their picture in my phone. And if they ever reach out, my heart is still open. But the truth is, I'm tired of being blamed for walking away when I was never allowed to stay. This is the story of many African fathers in the diaspora. And if somehow this is your story, just know you are not alone. We are always with you in prayers, and someday we believe you will smile again. Please share this to a father who needs it, and feel free to share your own story in the comment sections. Please like, subscribe, and follow for more stories like this. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow for more videos like this. Thank you once again. See you again next time. Bye.
The Egyptians are not African. I'm sorry.
Egypt is in Africa, folks. As long as Egypt is in Africa, then Egyptians are African.
They say Egyptians are not Africans. They say Egypt was not part of Africa. But I ask them, where were you when pharaohs from Sudan ruled Egypt? Where were you when Paye, Shabaka, Taharka, and Tanutamun, sons of Nubia, sat on the throne of the two lands? You see, history is not a story told by neutral men. It is a weapon. And they have used this weapon to cut Egypt away from Africa, to make us believe civilization came from somewhere else. But the stones of Sudan, the pyramids of Meroe, the records of the Nile, they testify that Africa was not borrowing greatness. Africa was producing greatness. In 744 BCE, when Egypt was broken, it was Paye from Sudan who marched north and restored order. He respected Egypt's traditions, but he ruled as pharaoh. Was he not African? Did his skin change when he crossed the border of Nubia into Egypt? After him, Shabaka protected the memory of the ancients. He preserved the old wisdom by carving it in stone. Tell me, who but an African king would fight not just with swords, but with knowledge? And then came Taharka, the great builder, the great defender. He faced the Assyrian Empire, the superpower of its time. His courage was so great, his name entered the Bible itself. But today, they silence his story, because they know if Africans remember Taharka, Africans will remember that resistance is possible. Even when the Assyrians forced the last Kushite pharaoh Tanutamun to retreat, the Sudanese kings did not vanish. They ruled from Napata and Meroe, raising pyramids that still stand today, more pyramids in Sudan than in Egypt itself. Yet they tell you Africa contributed nothing. No, let us be clear. If Egypt is not Africa, then tell me, what were Sudanese pharaohs